Hey everybody, welcome back to a Silver Saturday. We got another report from the LCS to get into and some good news. So let's delve in here, see what we got, and talk about it. Um, Talked about picking up more 10 ounces, got that locked in. Um, and we close it out with we got 6 Eagles, even got some Type 1s there. And collector penny. um, so it's all good. 10 ounces of generic, 6 Eagles. Even got some older ones. What do we got here? 2020. Um, and so on the news front, what the LCS was up to, um, they were empty. I mean, like nobody was there. Just about every time I go in there, there's somebody coming or going or something. And just asking the question, where's everybody at? And on their opinion, and what they've been seeing, is pretty much everybody's at a standstill. Everybody is holding what they got. They have sold what they're going to sell, and they've got what they're going to got, and everybody's just kind of holding on to see what the prices do. And we got one 2023 Type 2, the newer version there with those. So they were pretty dead, basically, they said, for a little while, and that they were not getting much. I mean, the case was fairly full of constitutional and other stuff, generic rounds and the whatnot that they usually have. One thing I'd noticed another time, they posted their prices on the wall for what they're selling, their selling price. That had never been up before. I guess they'd be getting a lot of traffic, and just to avoid people asking questions and leaving, they could at least post the price, and people could see that and ascertain what they wanted to do. Um, I mean, the LCS has been beating online dealers for a while now. Unless you really wanted specific in a online deal, the LCS has been the way to go. So I don't know what your LCS is like in your area, but check those prices because they've been beating everything from Eagles to generics. Unless you got a really killer deal with one of those, especially if you're just getting a few ounces, it's a better deal. It's better. Um, so we got that going for us. And with this, I talked about it last year, getting the goals, and we have gotten our goals worked out. We gotta just this is my tracking chart. Critique as necessary, but basically just tracking down our countdown, and I ended up with +3 on the generic, +1 on the semi and Numi, and +9.5 on constitutional silver because I'm an addict for Franklin halves, and so the goal has been achieved. Now we got to reset and reorganize and figure out what we're going to do. These Eagles are going to go in this tube that I got ready to go, and I still have a tube of Eagles to finish this year for 2024. So I want to get some more 2024 Eagles for that one. So that's one of the near-term goals for the years. Fill up the Eagles. Obviously, keeping an eye on price. I think the assumption is it's going to go higher. I think people that are selling are holding and until they can get a better price, and people that are buying are watching the spreads go up. I hate using the term premium. I hate it. I don't like to use it. But the difference between spot and what you can actually pick up, in particular Eagles, has grown. So that spread has grown because is it supply or is it demand driven? You really got to wonder. But with all the selling going, I mean, these are varied years. I think they probably bought those off somebody. But the local coin shop, like I said, had better deals than anybody online. Everything online has grown to $6, $7, whereas we were just a little bit below $5 a couple months ago, and everything's kind of going back trending. It didn't spike, and nothing's like went crazy, but it's trended that way, like 50 cents here, 20 cents here, and just incrementally getting more and more. Oh, and I didn't show off our penny collector deal. Just want to throw in the collection. Nice representation of the 42D. Just because I saw it. But yeah, they're not getting a lot of customers, they said. It was empty. There was nobody else there while I was there or when I left. Considering I'm usually there when most of the people are there. Where it's common traffic because work schedules, lunch schedules, and everything else. Like usually there's somebody else in there. So I found that interesting. Be interesting if any of you all are seeing anything similar. I mean, if you do online, obviously you don't see such things. But with the goals accomplished for the stack, like I talked about earlier, it would have been nice to accomplish the goal a couple years ago. Maybe we could look at gold. Gold is just insane. But somehow seems cheap in the bigger picture when you think about what's going on out there. Between inflation and everybody and their mom that's a central bank buying it, it's all going to China. Makes you wonder what's the next shoe to drop is going to be. But we'll see what we can scrape together. Was really good to push this goal and get this stuff secured now. I hadn't intended. I didn't think I was going to get this year because I had some money saved up for a trip. Trip got canceled. Couldn't go, so funnel it over to the metal side and take care of business and save that up. So that's where we're at. Be interested to see what everybody else is seeing. Really going to slow down on the Franklins. I think I got 3 to finish the roll I've got. So I'll wrap that up and then work on these Eagles and really evaluate the position on gold and what I want to do, because it would be good to, I think it's going to be a good hold for the future. I don't think, as much as weird as it is to say, I don't think we'll ever see $2,000 gold again. It's weird to say that and to think that, but inflation has never backed off. We've never had less inflation. We could see 2,200. That would be a good solid. Is that 10% of basically right now? I guess we could have a 10% pullback. Would 400 be a pull of 10%? Let me do my math. That'd be 20. 400. If it pulled back all the way to 2,000, that'd be a 20% pullback from here. I mean, I guess it's possible, but I don't think having gold, middle around 2,000 is ever going to happen again. It might spike down there for a minute, if you're really paying attention, you could grab it, but not for like a consistent period of time where it's just like in a holding pattern. It just looks like those days are over. Silver's bouncing off of 30. We talked about the deal with after the Israeli thing, and we will let's go ahead and package these up. We'll see where it goes from here, but silver is going to get drugged by gold basically, in my mind, up above 30, and the days of $25 silver are probably over. We'll probably revisit 28 here this year and hang around there, I think, later. But I think we'll go above 30, and 30 to 28 is our position for a while until something big happens. Gold stages a move up above 2,500, which, again, it's weird to say, but it seems like it's just around the corner. They talk about summer is like traditionally the doldrums of precious metals, where they just kind of hang out and don't do anything. This could be a spicy summer, to put it in modern terms. Could be a little interesting to where it goes with that. So I just throwing that out there, let you know where we're at, what we're thinking, and what we're seeing with traffic in particular of people buying or selling. I think the sellers are now the weekends, the people that have been waiting, that have been holding since 2011 when it was $30 an ounce and down. A lot of those people are washed out now. It seems like a lot of people have cashed out and removed themselves from the market. At least the position, what portion they had purchased with that, and everybody's holding a holding pattern, at least for this week. Something else could happen, and like I kind of hypothesized this a couple of weeks ago, but the way they're going to get our gold and silver is through inflation. They're going to starve people until they get this stuff at the central banks. So you might as well use it now to keep from starving and whatnot. But just something to think about. You're going to have to sell at some point for some reason. I don't know. I think it's in our lifetimes. I don't think we're going 20 years, to hand this down to the grandkids or whatever. I don't know that we're getting that far, unless you're already in a comfortable position with everything else, with everything, where you can hold through the inflation and the starvation. So anyway, YouTube, good news on the front of completing the stacking goal. Interesting news on the trading front, who's buying and selling and what's out there. Variety and supply seems good. It's just everybody kind of stopped. So that's on, at least in the LCS, and that's here. The LCSs seem to be different everywhere. I watched you watch the guy in North Dakota, Minot Coins, they do their thing. You watch the guys down in Florida, a couple of shops, and you see Tim in New Hampshire, like they're all a little different. Tim's just busy because he's a superstar. But yeah, and there's a Texas one too. I think that's it that I've seen on that I watch. I'm sure there's tons of others. When I watch some other channels that go places, there's a guy that goes to the coin shop in North Carolina. A couple of coin shop, a couple of guys. Now, I think there's a couple of channels I watch that go to their local coin shops in North Carolina. One in Virginia, I think. One in Tennessee. So most of them in the Southeast, it looks like. Now that I'm thinking about it, I really don't think about it. Just watch it for enjoyment. But yeah, I hear a lot about selling. Not a lot about buying, except for the people that are the hardcore stackers, right? So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I think the bigger thing that we think about, and would remind everybody who is involved in the physical acquisition of metal, is what you buy at the LCS and what we buy online is just nothing. It's a drop. It's not even a drop in the bucket compared to what central banks do and what industry does with silver and what banks do with gold. I think I would just keep that in mind. It doesn't really affect the market. Hardly a skosh, just to put it out there. Now, if everybody stopped selling and wholesalers couldn't get, in particular, silver to industry, then you might see a little bit of a squeeze. But what happens in the physical market is so, as far as stacking goes, is so minuscule. Doesn't really affect price because we know the paper market is 100 times more than the physical, and that's what manipulates the price. So anyway, folks, stack hard, prep hard, live free.